A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I want A+ English because it's so much fun. English education for you and everyone, so come along. Learn some grammar, learn a phrase, learn something new every day. Learn the A+ way. Hey, it's time to start the show. Are you ready? Good, 'cause here we go. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I want A+ English.
Hello, welcome to A+ English. I'm Mike.
And I'm Laura.
And today we are going to be talking about talking. We're talking about talking.
Okay.
About how people talk
I see.
in different places around the world.
Right.
And we don't just mean language. Now, of course, people speak languages, different languages in different countries.
Of course.
But also the way they speak, how they speak, and their ideas behind what they're saying, that can also be very different. The style of speaking also with the language. So our warm-up question is kind of about speaking and expressing yourself. How do you express yourself when you don't like a plan? When I say to you, Laura, we're going surfing this weekend, there's a giant typhoon, and I think it's time to hit the beach. And you would say, oh, no. So what would you say to my terrible plan?
To your terrible plan.
Terrible plan.
I don't want to die, Mike.
Okay, well, that's a good way of saying it.
It's the typhoon, right?
Yes.
But if it's like a plan, say like at work or something, I might be more polite and say something like this. I'm not sure this plan works for me. Could we consider another option? And then I might propose something else.
That's great.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, you could say that. I'm not sure this plan works for me. I don't want to die.
Yeah.
Could we consider another option, like going to the beach when it's not dangerous?
Exactly, when the typhoon is gone.
I like that, because that makes me feel like my idea wasn't terrible, even though it was, or stupid,
right?
Even though it was. But you're also offering an option.
Exactly.
You have a solution along with your no. So that's pretty good. All right, so that kind of thing might be how one person would speak. Another person would say, that's a stupid idea, I hate you. No,
and I'm not going,
and I'm not going. Never tell me another idea again. That would be very direct, but my feelings might be hurt. All right, let's get into the article and see what this is all about.
Different talking styles behind different cultures. Warm-up question. How do you express yourself when you don't like a plan? This picture is good. Maybe the colors are a little plain.
I don't like it at all. It's just boring. How are these two comments different? The two people don't like the picture, but they use different ways of talking. This shows different talking habits. Some people beat around the bush. Other people go straight to the point.
All right, so how you say things can often be just as important as what you are saying. So let's look at a situation here where maybe someone has an idea and another person thinks, I don't really like that idea. What are some different ways you could express your not liking the idea, your disagreement with the plan? Well, let's look at the first one. It says, this picture is good. Maybe the colors are a little plain. Okay, so maybe the picture isn't that good. There's a problem with the picture, but here's the solution along with the picture is good. Maybe the colors are a little plain, so maybe the colors could be a little bit better. It's not terrible. It could just be improved a little bit. How about this one, though? If I show you the same picture and then someone says, I don't like it at all. It's just boring. Okay, well, they don't like the picture,
Right.
and now I feel bad about showing you the
ouch.
picture, or that person didn't have any other ideas about how to make it better. So, the article says, how are these two comments different? Because they are different.
They are
For sure.
very different for sure. I can tell that person A is trying to be polite and starts with a compliment saying, oh, the picture is good, but then mentions that the colors are a little plain, which means the colors are simple and not very exciting, I would say. In other words, person A is suggesting the picture is a bit boring in a more polite or subtle way.
Exactly right.
However, person B, on the other hand, is very direct and blunt and a bit rude, immediately stating that they don't like the picture and find it boring. There you go. Now, this might be okay when talking to a friend, maybe, but could be too mean if speaking to the person who took the photo, don't you think?
Yes, that person might feel silly and foolish and wrong for showing you a picture that they thought was good, but now they just feel bad.
And we mentioned the word comment, which means sharing your opinion about something. For example, you can leave comments on your friend's Instagram or Facebook posts, but sometimes people leave very mean comments too. Haters gonna hate.
Haters gonna hate, but they shouldn't really,
They shouldn't.
because that doesn't help.
Mean.
And the article continues by saying the two people don't like the picture. Remember A and B that we saw there? The two people, they don't like the picture, but they use different ways of talking, or we could also say, but they express this in different ways.
Yeah, like I said, one is more polite and considerate, while the other is straightforward and could be seen as rude.
I agree. I think also one was helpful in a way. You know, the colors are a little dull. So that helps to make it better, whereas the other person is just saying, no. And that's
boring.
not super helpful to make it better. This shows different talking habits, different styles of saying things, of expressing yourself.
Yeah, everyone has their own talking habits. Habit just means something you often, do without thinking about it.
Sure.
Some common talking habits include speaking politely, being very direct, or using a lot of humor like Mike.
Okay.
Okay, as for me, I like to communicate with my friends and family directly so there won't be misunderstandings.
Okay, you like to be very clear.
But polite, okay.
But polite.
But I'm more straight to the point, and I like to use a bit of humor when talking to my friends so it won't come off as too mean or direct. Yeah, it's funny that all my friends and family sometimes are dodgy and always ask me to pass the message for them. And I'd be like, just tell them directly. Does this happen to you a lot?
I've had a few friends in difficult situations sort of say, how would you say this? Or how would you tell the person this,
You're the
this
go-to
message?
person.
Well, sometimes. The article then goes on to say some people beat around the bush, all right? When you beat around the bush, this is not being direct and straightforward. This is like taking the long way around to get to your point.
Okay, beat around the bush in Chinese is 拐弯抹角 or 兜圈子. So there are similar ways you could say this, like talk in circles or avoid the subject, or I like this one, tiptoe around the subject.
I've also heard to dance around the subject.
Oh, super cute.
So you're not going straight to the subject, you're going around it like beating around the bush. Other people go straight to the point. If you say, I'm a very straight to the point person, we could also say you're very direct.
Oh, okay. Or you're straightforward.
Straightforward.
Or you get to the point and cut to the chase. I like that one.
Cut to the chase.
Oh, okay. So then here's a question I want to ask you. How do you change the way you talk in different situations?
I see. When I think of communicating, I try to understand the other person's point of view. Like
in their shoes.
In that first situation with the picture, if I know that that person had worked really hard on the project, if I knew that that person was maybe new in the company, I might be a little more careful about not saying things too directly. I might beat around the bush a little bit more, but I know, if I know the person's a friend, if they just spent a few minutes picking a picture, I might be a bit more direct because I feel that their feelings wouldn't get hurt. I try to think of their I try to think of their feelings when I'm delivering my message. How about you?
Same. When I'm talking to older people or people I don't really know, I'm super polite, use very nice words, right? And I'm kind of careful with what I say. But with my friends, I'm more relaxed and open. I can talk about many different things and be casual. Yeah, but I do have some very sensitive friends, so I avoid being too direct. So I don't want to hurt their feelings. I try to be kind while still being honest.
Okay, yeah, because of course you don't want to hurt their feelings now, and also you don't want to make them afraid of expressing themselves in the future. Right? By kind of being a little rough at the beginning, they might find that they just get nervous and scared about expressing themselves, and that won't help anyone.
This often happens with people from different cultures and backgrounds. For example, people from the US usually say things in a clear way. They say no when they don't like something. Yet, people from Taiwan might say, "This is great, but maybe try something else." These two ways are fine. Try to understand different talking habits in other cultures.
Now, of course, we all know that in your family, in your friend group, in your class, or at your work, people are all different, right? There's all sorts of different people out there. Some are sensitive, some can take the direct message and not get hurt. Now, think about what happens if you go to other parts of the world, different countries, different cultures. There's a whole other level of different when you're talking to people who don't come from where you come from. As the article says, this often happens with people from different cultures and backgrounds. It does.
Background, 出生背景 or 经历. Yeah, that's right. People from different cultures and backgrounds often talk in different ways. Knowing these differences can help us communicate better and avoid confusion. It's important to respect and understand how others like to communicate.
Exactly right. It's a good thing to know if you're going to be going to another part of the world. For example, people from the US, that's America, of course, usually say things in a clear way. They're not going to beat around the bush or tiptoe around the subject. They'll be very straightforward or direct. They say no when they don't like something. That's about it.
Yeah, well, that's true. I actually like this way of talking because it's straightforward and I don't have to guess what they really mean. It makes communication simpler and less confusing.
That is absolutely true. It saves time, but it can also sort of hurt people's feelings, maybe.
True.
You can be too direct and cause other people to feel upset. Yet, however, it says, yet people from Taiwan might say, "This is great, but maybe try something else. This is great, really, really good, but maybe try something else." That can be confusing.
It's like, so is it good or not?
Exactly. For people who are very direct, if it's great, it's great. It's very good. You wouldn't expect to hear, "It's really good, but maybe you should change it." Why should I change it if it's really good? Well, it's just the way people communicate.
Exactly. I guess they're trying to be more polite and avoid hurting people's feelings. They might feel 不好意思, like embarrassed or uncomfortable if they're too direct. Now, this way of speaking shows respect and consideration for others, which is important in the Taiwanese culture, of course.
Absolutely. No one will lose face, as they say. These two ways, sort of the more Western American style and the more Taiwanese style. And I think in Taiwan, we could also say maybe Japan and other countries like that speak in the same kinds of ways. So these two ways are fine. Try to understand different talking habits in other cultures. They're both fine, they're both normal in those places, but they are different. So it's important to understand those differences when you are traveling or when you are speaking to a person who comes from another part of the world. All right, so if you are going to experience some different talking habits, you're traveling around, meeting people from different places, maybe you're going to meet rude people or people who beat around the bush. how would you respond to one or the other style of speaking?
Okay. Actually, when dealing with people who beat around the bush, I try to be more direct. I might even message them to get straight to the point.
Okay.
This helps clear up any confusion and makes communication more efficient. However, it can be challenging when it's someone close to me, like my dad, who takes forever to get to the point.
Okay.
Now, in those situations, I have to be super patient and repeat the same thing at least 3 times to make sure he gets it. What about you? Have you ever come across like really rude people or people who just don't get straight to the point? What would you do?
I would definitely try to think about who I'm talking to, where they're from, that kind of thing. And I might say something like, tell me your honest opinion and don't worry about hurting my feelings or something like that, to try to skip over the move of the going around in circles, exactly, beating around the bush or tiptoeing around. Don't tiptoe, don't dance, don't beat, just tell me straight. That's another way you might do it. Maybe they will, maybe they won't, but at least you're showing that you don't mind communicating in a different way.
哇，今天学到太多了，但是我们还是要来复习一下我们的 word pal words。第一个我们看到的是 comment 这个字哦，在本课是当作名词来用，有评论、意见的意思哦。For example, when reading online news, it's always good to check the comments to see different perspectives. 在看网络新闻的时候，要查看评论呢，就可以看到不同的观点哦。单字例句提到的是 There are over 10,000 comments on this funny YouTube video. 哇，这支 YouTube 搞笑的影片有超过10000则评论耶。再来我们提到的是 habit 这个名词，就是习惯。For example, breaking a bad habit takes time, but it's worth the effort. 改掉坏习惯需要时间，但这是值得努力的。OK， 单字例句提到的是 Michael goes swimming before work. It's his habit. Michael 上班前会去游泳，这是他的习惯。我们还提到了 straight 这个副词，就是直截了当地或是坦率地。For example, when my little brother wants something, he goes straight to asking mom for it with his puppy eyes. 我弟弟啊，想要什么东西的时候，我就会直接用那种小狗眼睛，然后问妈咪，就是要撒娇啦。Or Tanya tells me straight she doesn't want me at her party. Tanya 直接跟我说，她不希望我参加她的派对。哭哭。最后就是 understand 这个动词，就是理解或是谅解。注意一下它的动词三态的变化 ：understand, understood, understood. Sometimes it's hard to understand why people act the way they do, but empathy helps. 有时候很难理解为什么人会这样做呢？但是同理心 empathy 会有帮助哦。Or Mia is a really good friend. She always understands my feelings and cheers me up. Mia 是一位很好的朋友，她总是理解我的感受，并且鼓励我哦。那我们刚刚是不是有看到一个用法，就是用 yet 这个副词来表示然而，有转折语气哦，跟 however 是类似的。For example, she was tired, yet she still finished her homework. 她很累耶，然而她是完成了作业，太棒喽！ Let's now go to our review time.
Review time.
All right, we have just a brief amount of time to do a little review of our 4 new words.
Okay.
Let's review those words first. Comment, habit, straight, and understand. Are you ready to go?
Yes, I
I am going to give you a definition of 1 or 2 of these words, and you're going to have to guess which word I am talking about.
I'm so ready.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Something you might do.
It's a habit.
Something you might say.
A comment.
There we go. Well done, everyone. Thanks for joining us. That was very direct.
I know.
You see how direct and straightforward I was on that game?
Exactly. 还喜欢今天我们的节目吗？记得呢要按赞、订阅、开启小铃铛，你就不会错过任何精彩内容喽。拜拜。
拜拜。